You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 434 for Sunday, the 27th of November, 2022.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum, Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hey up there, Jane.
Hey up there, Michelle. Oh, it's a bit of Yorkshire coming out, isn't it? Hey up.
It is.
Then mixed with my bit of Derbyshire, I'll be saying, hey up me duck. That'll just confuse everybody, won't it?
Yeah, that's absolutely bob on that.
Bob, oh my goodness. How parochial are we being? We've said, hey up me duck, and now we're bob on.
Well, I think it's appropriate that to throw in a few Bob idioms here and there. We're going to bob and weave them into the show seamlessly without people even recognising we're mentioning the word Bob.
Bob.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just like that, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. We're going to get on with Disney Dream Girls on this day in Disney history.
Crack on then, me dear.
I think I've probably gone crackers at this point. But hey-ho. So, I am starting this week's show with the best bit of Disney history.
Oh, go on then.
On November the 27th, 1937, the very final cells were painted on Disney's very first feature-length animated film, Snow White.
Oh.
Massive undertaking, Janie. 32 animators, 102 assistants, 167 people that filled in bits and bobs of action, 20 layout artists, 25 staff focusing on watercolours for the background, 65 effects animators, and 158 ink and paint artists.
That's astounding, and I would imagine that the equivalent nowadays would be even more than those numbers that you've just quoted.
Yeah, but it was all done by wonderful cell by cell.
Yeah.
Absolute old school. So absolute celebration on that. And while I'm mentioning that, the Disney Store released a Snow White range to celebrate. And the best bit about this 85th, Jane, is that the ears are amazing. I ordered a pair to send down to Caroline, and they came the other day, and they are gorgeous.
Really?
They are so cute. They've been created by Bauble Bar for Disney, so they're very blingy. They're gorge.
I do love the Bauble Bar stuff. It's very difficult. Well, not very difficult, but it can be interesting to get a hold of over here. I
do know that Target is a good place to go for Bauble Bar in general. So guess who's going there at Christmas?
I might give you a list then, Michelle.
Absolutely. So moving on to 2013.
A bit more recent, yeah.
A bit more recent. Frozen was released. Can you believe it's 9 years ago, Jane?
Oh my goodness. And only the other day I saw an advertisement I hadn't realised coming to Disney Plus. There's a whole thing with Idina Menzel, who obviously sang Let It Go famously. And I even saw somebody, a flash on my YouTube scrolling the other day, something about, is Frozen 3 a possibility or something? I didn't actually pause to go and look at the video. I just saw that headline. I thought, oh, really? That would make sense. But yeah.
I have a little bit of more Disney news for you as well. On the same date, in Walt Disney World, all the entry points were now via touchpoint technology, i.e. the old, little go and scan whatever, magic band, card, whatever, rather than going through a turnstile.
Yeah, I kind of miss the old putting a paper ticket in or getting it clear. I think I've got paper tickets where they were stamped with a date and things like that in my collection somewhere.
Yeah, but I must admit, getting through those turnstiles, if you're a little bit larger than average, was a squeeze.
True.
But do you know which Disney theme park was the first to introduce this technology?
I don't.
Typhoon Lagoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I would never have guessed that in a million years.
Yeah, and you never will be able to go back into it at the moment because it's still closed.
True.
We have a piece of news. and I don't know where you've been, but this week we've had a little bit of news about a Bob and another Bob. A Bob. A Bobbidi Bob. A Bibbidi Bobbidi Bob.
I'm beginning to wonder whether having the name Bob is a requirement in the contract.
It could well be. No, sirree, Bob, you can't work here because you're not called Bob.
Bob.
Oh, but my name's Robert. Oh, you'll do.
Bobby Joe.
Yeah, Bob Job Week. Bob Up.
Oh, crikey, here we
Bobbing
go.
for fries. Seemingly, that is a really nasty insult, actually, is to say bobbing for fries, because it's to convey that someone has got a hideous face. As if they'd put their face in a deep fat fryer to pull out fries with their teeth.
I have never heard that expression before. I just presumed that was you going off on one.
No. Obviously, we all know to be not short of a few bob, and I imagine neither Bob are not short of a few bobs, because, one may have been, left his position, but I'm sure he didn't leave his position without a little bit of finances going his way.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's been disclosed yet or not, but I can imagine that his goodbye package with the appropriate NDA is going to be rather pleasant, shall we say.
Yeah, and then the other one coming back, oh my word, it's took people by, shall we say, surprise, but I'd like to think at 71 that I would be able to go into a job at that kind of salary.
Well, yeah, because isn't it something like $1 million a year? And then I think the potential over the 2 years, I think I saw earlier today, is that he could earn $27 million.
Wow. Not bad, is it?
Not bad, is it, at all? No.
Yeah. But I think it's too early to say whether he'll be saying Bob on Bob or Bob down, because we just don't know of how well he's going to be, because some of these decisions have been put in place and he really can't undo them. So it will, like things like, can we blame him for Tron being taking so long? Well, actually, he was in charge when Tron was actually sort of begun. So, maybe he's just come back because he wants to see Tron finished in his lifetime.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Because we have to remember that although our main focus is the parks, and I think Bobby C was never particularly well loved by park enthusiasts, Disney as a company is a lot bigger than just the parks, and there's lots of other things to take into consideration, of which there are things that people aren't happy about at the moment that were down to Mr. Bob Iger's doing. So it's very easy to go, oh yeah, Mr. Iger's back, and clap hands, and I think everything's going to be rosy again. But he will be dealing with the same problems, and they are problems that some of which, not all, but some of which have come about by his actions 2 years ago. So interesting times. Interesting times.
And nice little link. Very famous Bob. God bless him. The wonderful Londoner Bob Hoskins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just mentioning famous people called Bob.
Oh, okay.
Bob Marley.
Yeah, go on then.
What about this for a name? Bob Dole. He's got the first name Bob and he's got the surname Dole, as in wit.
This is very true. Have you just been Googling famous Bobs?
Yes, because I thought it was funny.
It's quite a common name, though.
It is a very common name. And although nobody in my family has ever been called Bob, that I'm aware of.
Well, shall I tell you something? I've got a Bob in my family.
Have you?
I've actually got a couple of Bobs in my family, I'm thinking about it.
Bob and Jane.
I went to see my uncle, well, Robert actually, but same difference, isn't it? A couple of weeks ago, who I've not seen for a lot of years, I went to see. And my other half, his middle name is a Bob. So maybe it's that era, because he's a bit old now, so.
Yeah. Well, there's some people who are called Bert are called Bob, Bobby, Rob, Robert, Robert, Robertus, Robarth, Roberto, Roberts, Robertus, Robrecht, Roop, Rupo, Robbie and Robka.
Maybe we could have a female CEO called Roberta.
Yeah. I will just rename the show called the Disney Bob Dream Show. And we just have to put Bob in every sentence.
Bob and Heck, how's that going to work?
Yeah. Anyway, bobbing along to the next bit of Disney news. 21st of November 2022, Genie Plus hit a staggering cost of $29 per person.
Unbobbing believable.
Yeah. Rise of the Resistance for a Lightning Lane, $25.
It's getting a bit ridiculous.
It's just, yeah, and 2 days in a row it was $29. I just could not believe that. And $25 for a Lightning Lane. In my opinion, for Rise, I wouldn't pay it. Even for Cosmic Rewind, I possibly would grumble at $25.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because obviously I know we're approaching Thanksgiving, aren't we, in America? So I'm assuming that the reason it's hit this peak is because of the time of year. Do we know what the top... Did they say what the top peak was going to be or not? I can't remember.
No, it's just going to be varied pricing, isn't it?
Yeah, so, crikey, that's going to be interesting to see, you know, because you would suspect the likes of Christmas and Easter when, you know, there's always historically been that, you know, watching the old Twitter sphere to see whether or not we're going to hit capacity and all that type of thing. So if those are those busy, quintessentially busy days, are they going to... Crikey, I don't even think what they could put it up to.
Yeah, well, pre sort of Thanksgiving, it's busy in the park. Our good friend David Maruka was there this last weekend and said it was staggeringly busy. It was queue to queue to queue to queue to queue. Yeah,
it's just been the end of Food and Wine as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's had something to do with it.
I don't know. But you brought into the conversation there, Jane, very swiftly and very adaptly. Food.
And very by accident.
Absolutely. Yeah. Food, Jane.
Food, yes.
We're going to play a mutual game.
Oh, crikey.
So, I was doing a little bit of Googling around on touring plans because they have such a wealth of fascinating data that if you sort of sift through and look at it, it really is brilliant. But for each eatery, they've got a rating score.
Okay.
So, for example, when I was doing my research, really surprised me. The highest rated customer satisfaction on tourist plans was Pineapple Lanai at 98.8%.
Oh, right, okay.
I want to know that 1.2% that don't like Dole Whip. Show me them. Bring them to my door.
Well, I suppose there must be somebody that doesn't like pineapple.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be then going to the Pineapple Lanai then, obviously.
Maybe they were dragged there unwittingly, being forced to eat it.
Oh, can you imagine that?
That just sounds wrong. I'll take that back.
Baseline Tap House, 97.9.
Wow, yeah.
Nomad Lounge.
Okay.
97.3.
Mm-hmm. Neither of which I've been to, so hey-ho.
Yeah, I haven't been at Baseline Tap House, but I've done Nomad Lounge. Surprisingly, Connections Eatery, a place I sing from the hilltops about, 85.4.
It is quite new though, isn't it?
It is new, and I don't like the mobile ordering system there because you can order things, tap to say that you're there, and it still could be 25 minutes, but then you've got to join a scrum of people all waiting to go pick up their meals because at busier times during lunchtime and breakfast time, etc., they have guards stopping you going and getting a seat. So when I was there earlier in the year with Caroline and she was feeling really ropey, they wouldn't let her go and get a seat, even though I showed them, look, here's my mobile order. I clicked to say I'm here. My friend needs to sit down. There's no seats.
Yeah, you've got to have a little bit of leeway, surely, to good as a little bit of common sense.
Yeah, and I must admit that it didn't happen on our food, but because the screens show when your order is ready, a few people might have missed that, and I saw quite a lot of food going cold. So that could represent that 85.4.
Yeah.
However, touring pounds do sort of say if it's anything over like 85, 80%, they're quite happy with that as a good good rating.
Oh, okay.
I was stunned to see 3 places that had the lowest. Because you know me, Jane, I had to look what place in Walt Disney World had the lowest food ratings.
Well, you always want to know the best and the worst.
3 places, Jane. Can you think of one of them?
Oh, I can't, Michelle. Go on.
Tomorrowland turkey leg cart.
Why that turkey leg cart?
I don't know, but it was 50%, so people mustn't like the turkey legs from there.
Well, sure to goodness, have you got like the bottom 3? Are they all turkey leg variation? Oh, no, okay.
The Golden Oak Outpost ice cream cart, 52.9.
Okay.
And Paradiso 37, the Taste of the Americas, 55.2.
Oh.
Anyway, so I thought about that and thought, let's play a game.
Mm-hmm.
Jane can try and guess the touring plan's rating for a buffet restaurant, and I can try and guess how much it currently costs to go and eat there.
Right, okay.
And I thought it'd be making sense with buffets because it's a fixed price for an adult.
It is, yes. I think you might have the easier option here, you know.
Possibly. Let's go in order. Let's start at 1900 Park Fair, which is currently closed.
It is, yes.
One quick go. What's the rating, Jane?
88.
81.3.
Oh, okay.
I think this will cost about $56 because it's ridiculously expensive because there's characters.
We're doing breakfast, yeah?
Oh, is it breakfast? Oh, I'll go $46 then.
Well, let's have a look there. I can do both for you. So, what are you saying for breakfast? 46?
Yeah.
Close. 45.
Oh.
Dinner. What did you say for dinner?
56.
60.
You see, I've been there once and I was ultimately disappointed because I didn't get to see any characters because they just passed them by. And I had to sort of say something to someone and said, the reason I'm not leaving a tip is that we never got our beverages replenished by the wait staff and we didn't get to see any characters, even though we mentioned it and raised that question several times.
Now we've done here for breakfast with the Alice in Wonderland British type characters. Going back quite a few years now, though. But we had a lovely time, and the characters were fantastic. Alice was brilliant, actually. She came to our table and was, let's say, she took delight in winding up Ethan, who was about 10 years old at the time. So you can imagine, can't you?
Aww.
Which was great fun. We enjoyed that, no end.
Yeah. It's the first time I've never left a tip in Walt Disney World. So that, it's very rare. I normally tip 20%. Even more if it's been outstanding service, because I'm conscious I don't want to be labelled the Brit that doesn't tip. But I explained, not great.
Yeah.
Akashus.
Bless you.
I know.
Princessy, aren't we?
We're princessy. There's a staged character picture before you go in and have the shared sort of smorgasbord buffet and shared dessert thing.
So I'm thinking relatively high. I'm going to go around about the 85.
74.1.
Oh.
And I'm probably blaming this on that the food is quite Norwegian in influence. So maybe some people, kids a bit fussy. The restaurant, in my opinion, is a little dated, a bit cramped as well. So, and I think, are we breakfasting at this one?
Well, we can do both. I've got figures for both if you want to. The breakfast isn't currently on at the moment, but I do have what they were charging for breakfast.
I'd say 47 for the breakfast and probably 65 for lunch.
Actually, breakfast was 53.
Wow.
And then your lunch is 63.
You see, I suppose with breakfast, getting into Epcot nice and early, getting a really breakfasty
bonus, isn't it?
Bonus time, and then Princessy, and then being really closely positioned to get on Frozen. That's a good strategy for some.
Especially with your little girls, yeah, definitely.
Or boys.
Oh, boys,
Or
yes.
Bob's.
Oh, Bob's. Bob and Bobby.
Yeah. Biergarten.
Biergarten, yes.
Never eaten there.
No, I've not either. I'm going to go around about the 73.
89.2, which was
Oh.
staggering, because I just thought, hang on a minute, is there that many people in the world that like different types of cabbage and sausage? Obviously so.
Yeah, I mean, there's entertainment as well, isn't there? Isn't there like some...
Yeah, there's bandy music and things like that.
Which I thought might have gone against it a little bit, to be fair.
Well, all of that, sort of like sitting in communal tables to me. I'm British, I don't do that.
No. Go on then, price it.
I would probably say it's one of the cheaper lunch options, about 45, and maybe a little breakfasty option of 45. I don't think they do breakfast.
No, there's no breakfast
Yeah,
there.
about
it's just
45
lunch.
then.
49.
Not doing too bad.
So, yeah, not far off.
Next one.
Mm-hmm.
Boma.
Boma.
Or Boba whatever. I nearly wanted to say Boba Fett then. It's just so, yeah. Boma, what do you reckon?
Boma. I'm going to think it's going to be quite high. I'm going to go for about 88.
You're not bad. 95.9, a very high rating one.
Oh, crikey. Way up there, yeah.
So this tells me a lot of people enjoy the spicier but not chili spice of the beautiful bread service.
Yeah.
The fact it's over at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
I was going to say location might swing it for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's really good. I've enjoyed many a meal there. Enjoy it. I'm going to go with breakfast is going to be about 42, and then your other one about 65.
You might be pleasantly surprised with this, actually, Cheryl. Breakfast is 35
Ooh.
and dinner is 54.
I like that because the food quality at Boma is absolutely spot on. There's always a carved meat section with different types of meats. There's lots of interesting African type takes on food. There's the classic zebra domes at the end if you're having the evening meal. It's a good place to go, but for me, I'm not a fan of that type of eating. But if I was, that would be the place I'd go. Next one, Janie, is Cape May, which I reviewed earlier, that I had the lovely pleasure of going while it was at a lot cheaper rate because there was no characters. And before characters, it was only $25. So I'm thinking it's probably over 40 now.
Yeah, it's crept up to 45 because of the characters.
Ooh, food is good though.
I'm going to say, I remember your review and you did say about the food being good. So let's put this one 91.
82.7.
Oh, God, I'm never good at this, am I?
I know. Chef Mickey's.
Chef Mickey.
We all love a good Chef Mickey time at the Contemporary. It is one of those places that you have to do.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, because it's quite chaotic and busy and full on, I wonder if this gets a low rating.
Ooh, because it can be noisy.
Yeah, I'm going to go about 78.
I've got 83%.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking because it's the mouse, it's going to be 45 for your brekkie and probably 62 for your dinner.
Yeah, you bob on with the breakfast, it's $45. And dinner is 59.
Ooh. Another place. Now, we've got to take the next place in context. It's eating in a theme park opposed to eating in a resort. So that's also going to give you a little bit more of a price on it, purely because it's in a park and you're not having to spend time leaving the park, going somewhere else and coming back to the park.
You're paying for the location.
And I must admit, they've got the Churro Mickey waffle for breakfast. So how much would I pay for that right now? $9 billion.
Even Disney aren't going to ask you for that much, Michelle.
I'd probably go with a cool $45 for breakfast.
Yeah, bob on.
What about a rating?
I'm going to go 89.
79.6.
Oh, okay. I thought it might have been higher than that.
Yeah. Next one, was a restaurant that surprised me, because when I first went there and people told me it rotated, I was imagining something like that Pete Burns record, "You spin me right round, baby, right round." I was expecting spinning. I was expecting, Crush's coaster type movement. And it's like, oh, we're moving that slow.
I'm not sure that would work very well whilst you're eating, Michelle.
I know, but I thought, themed entertainment, spinning restaurant. Yeah, it sort of crawls even slower than a slug. And we are looking at a cost for breakfast, probably again in Epcot, good quality food. It's family style opposed to buffet. I'd probably say 42.
Well, interestingly, it's not doing breakfast at the moment. The last time it was doing breakfast was January 2020. That's the best price I could get. And it was 42 back then.
Oh.
I suspect, should they do it again, I think it would probably be at the 45 mark. Do you want to have a guess for lunch?
I've done lunch there and I really enjoyed it because it's meat and veggies and then a delightful dessert, so it's really good. I'd probably go in the 50s, about 56.
55, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable price point because you're getting a multi-course meal, a 3-course meal. You're getting the characters, you're getting the not so spinny round. Yeah.
Yeah, let's put this about 91.
89.5.
Oh, not far off.
But again, that is a really good rating. But how can you go wrong? The food is food that people will like. Whereas you're thinking of Boma, even though it got that really high rating, some people might not like the flavoursome approach of Boma.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on your eating style, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Next
one on my list is Hollywood and Vine, which is over in Hollywood Studios. I've not eaten there purely because I've always had a bit of sticker shock with regards to the price and also the awful reviews over some of the pricing on the food.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? And if you are doing the breakfast, it is Disney Junior characters, which may not...
Who are you? Get off. Get me a proper character.
Yeah, it may not always be your thing. Obviously, if you've got little ones, they're going to love it, aren't they? But perhaps as adults, we may not be quite in touch with the Disney Junior character lineup.
Doc McStuffins, who are you? Hello?
Yeah, I'm a little bit... And as somebody who worked in early years with little ones, I still don't really know who's going off in that. Yeah. But anyway.
I'm going to say 47 for breakfast and maybe possibly 69 for lunch.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, it's 42 for breakfast. And I think lunch is coming in around about the 59 mark.
It's still not going to tempt me, Jane.
No. So I'm thinking, let's put this around about the 82 mark.
Okay. Let's hobble on now to Ohana. Ohana, Jen.
Ohana.
I had Ohana breakfast without characters this year. $25, ka-ching. Really nice tip for the waitress who looked after us splendiferously. I've done the evening. The food was divine. But again, you've got to be an eater to get the ka-ching. And especially when you can go next door to Tamboo Lounge and you can order the bread pudding and the pot stickers and the noodles at a lot lower price. Tempting. I'm going to go with breakfast going back up to $45 and the evening meal being $60.
Yeah, you're kind of bob on there. Bob on, sorry, I couldn't resist that. 45 for breakfast and 59 for your dinner.
Okay. So. Have we a rating?
I'm guessing this is going to be pretty high up. I'm going to go 91.
86.2.
Okay.
Maybe some people complained when they weren't serving that for a few weeks. No noodles.
Yeah, it does make me laugh actually, because when you go onto the Disney World website and you look up Ohana, I think it does say on there the front page something like the home of the world famous noodles, and I thought, oh, how ironic.
2 to go, Jane. Topolino's, sorry, I've got Bob on my mind. Topolino's Terrace. This looks a breakfast I have to do. And I think when I go back on my next trip, it'll be one that I'll be wanting to book in because you get the unique attire of the Mickey and Minnie, and you get to go and hang out at Riviera Hotel, which is amazing. The artwork, the fact you can just get off the Skyliner so conveniently.
Yeah.
I'm going to put their breakfast at probably about 47, and their evening meal, it isn't a breakfast brunch, is it anymore? So it's not a buffet, so it's just breakfast. So
Yeah, just breakfast for the buffet now. Yeah. 45.
Oh, okay. I still think it's at the higher point.
I do as well. I mean, I've looked at the menu and there's some really nice sounding bits and pieces on there, and it feels quite high end. And I say that the characters and the decor and the costuming looks fantastic. I reckon this has probably got a 94 rating.
94.1.
Oh, crikey. I've actually got one right.
Yeah. Last but not least, this is a eatery in Animal Kingdom. It's Tusker House, rated at what?
92.
88.3.
Oh, okay.
My top tip for Tusker House is to go for a late breakfast, because they'll start bringing out lunch.
Okay. Like a little crossover sort of thing.
Yeah, and you pay for breakfast, not lunch.
Yeah.
So your breakfast 45 and your lunch 60.
45 and 59.
Not bad. So Jane, out of all of those places, where in the world are you going to be putting down your dollars?
I am tempted with Topolino because I just like I like the I've not been to that resort anyway, so I do like the aesthetic there, and I'm curious to have a good wander around. So that's kind of pulling at my strings, and I know Cape May because I know you had a lovely breakfast there as well, so that's very tempting.
Okay, I think I'm agreeing with you with Topolino's. I think that is one. Possibly Crystal Palace, just for the fact of the churro Mickey waffles. But maybe I need to just sort of try something a little bit different and eventually get a reservation at Tusker House, because I keep saying I'll go and then I cancel it. But yeah, we'll see. We've just got to bear in mind, folks, at all times, when you've got a character, the price goes up and it's going to be really, really expensive. But we'd like to hear from you. Which one is your favourite place to go and dine? Share some pictures with us. Share your little mini review. You can send us info@disneydreamgirls.com on their email. You can go over to Disney Dream Girls podcast family page on Facebook. We're on Instagram and Twitter @DisDreamGirls, and we'd love to hear what you think. I think I'll share some food pictures as well, Janie.
Oh, go on then, tempt the taste buds.
Absolutely. If you want extra content from the Disney Dream Girls, we have a Disney Dream Girls Patreon page, patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls, and our wonderful, fantastic Patreon supporters ensure that our show is advert free so that you can enjoy it in its entirety rather than having to speed up the bits that are a bit boring. Anyway, lovelies, until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.